This is the Limo Show.
This is not another story. This is not another drill. I refuse to be another number.
So welcome guys to the Limo Show. I have Rebekah with me today. Rebekah is, she's into fitness. She has her business in a lash business apparently and all of that. She has a crazy TikTok channel that's booming right now. That's how I actually found her. And I'm glad to have you here, Rebekah, and maybe you can introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, thank you, Limo. I'm very excited to be here. So a little bit about myself. I'm very into self-help, self-improvement. So that was kind of my initiative when starting my TikTok page. A lot of my videos are inspired by books I read because reading is a big passion of mine. I'm also into fitness and nutrition. So I have my certification for diet and nutrition coaching. So I do that more as a passion, not very much right now steered towards business. And then I also have my own lash business. So I'm doing that full time as a university student. I'm currently in my last semester at Simon Fraser University, and I am in there for early childhood education. And I specialize with children with learning and developmental disabilities. That's not something I'm looking to pursue, but I'm going to be having a degree in that after this semester. And I hope to pursue lashes and create a business out of that. Yeah.
Nice. Now in your business, I'm just curious, did you start selling a product or is it still in the development phase?
Yeah. So right now I'm service-based. So I have clients and then they are reoccurring every 3 weeks. So I just apply eyelash extensions on them. I do have a lash cleanser product, so it kind of coincide with the service. But I am looking to expand on products in the new year.
Okay, great. Okay, gotcha. So now basically you are servicing people yourself, like with the eyelash. You have kind of an eyelash studio or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm home based. So out of my basement right now, I'm working. One day I hope to open a salon, but at the moment we have humble beginnings. So I'm just starting from home. Yeah.
Nice. And what's your TikTok so people can find you even right now as they're listening? What's the
handle? It's called This Is Not Reb, R-E-B.
Okay.
So my name is Rebekah and I go by Reb. So
okay, this is not Reb, guys. So go check it out. That's actually, as I said, that's actually how I found her. I don't know how she popped up on my feed, and I thought it was interesting. I think you were talking about how, when people wake up in the morning, usually they just rush and, check out their notifications and open their phones. And I think you were saying, yeah, obviously that's a bad thing because it sucks your energy. That's not a good habit, etc. So maybe you can expand a little bit on that. Actually, let's talk a little bit about kind of morning routines a little bit. Some of the things you've learned from the books you've read. You said that you've read a couple of books. What was some of the maybe something you wish you knew when you were a bit younger, before you started reading? Some of the things you would like to share, for example, let's say about morning routines or about habits.
Okay, that's such an excellent question. Habits in itself, I just want to say I really highly recommend the book Atomic Habits. That book has simply helped me form a lot of habits myself. But morning routines, I really think this is extremely important because it's, setting up your whole day for either you could set it up for success or not. But for me, I really like to keep it simple because as I'm waking up, I might not be fully awake. So I'm kind of adjusting slowly into the day. On a good day, I really like to spend my morning reading, writing, and praying. Mm-hmm. So by doing this, I'm targeting, my mental, my spiritual, and I feel like I'm learning, and it just kind of like gives me a rush of dopamine, but not from my phone. I used to kind of, if I'm giving advice to a maybe a younger self, I used to, grab my phone right away when I woke up. And I just would feel very unproductive and almost anxious throughout the day because I would, subconsciously keep reaching for it. And I really believe this is because this was the first thing that I did in the morning. So it kind of set the tone for the rest of the day. Yeah, so that's a big factor on why. And then praying is something I just recently started to incorporate. I went to a Catholic school my whole life. So from kindergarten to grade 10, I actually went to a Catholic school. So I had, I guess, a faithful background, but I didn't really practice this in my personal life. So I'm just kind of trying to practice this with my own relationship with religion, and kind of not, yeah, just a beginning phase of that. So that's something I'm recently incorporating. And then of course I will target my physical body. So after this morning routine, I'll always work out. So for me, that's weightlifting, and might look different for
Yeah.
everyone.
No, amazing. So what's the first thing you do when you wake up? Do you make your bed and go to the bathroom and first wash your face, or do you actually start reading?
Yeah. So initially, when I wake up, I just take a few breaths, process, okay, I'm awake, and I give gratitude. Like, I'm very thankful to wake up, be blessed with another day. And then, of course, I'll make my bed. I need to have system within, the thing, make my bed, brush my teeth. I'll usually make an espresso because I'm Italian. I just need that. So
I didn't know you were Italian. Good to know.
Yeah. So my parents actually had a coffee company growing up. So coffee is very big thing in our life. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Interesting.
So yeah, I'll have an espresso, and then I'll go into reading, writing, praying.
Okay. No, that's great. And do you, like, by prayers, do you also, because you said you take deep breaths, like, do you kind of meditate? That's what you're doing as well?
I don't meditate at the moment. I really wish I could say I do, but that's something I want to start implementing because it seems very fascinating to me. But yeah, at the moment I'm not like intentionally meditating, but I'm just kind of speaking in my head, giving thanks, asking for strength in certain areas of my life, kind of asking for things that I may need or want support in, and then also making sure that I'm giving gratitude at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I can imagine how it can definitely, give you power. I mean, compared to most people, what most people do is they reach out their phones, they look at their notifications, they watch the news. But compare that to doing what you're doing, obviously you're going to have different results, and it's going to set a very different tone for your day, definitely. So no, that's great. And when did you start incorporating those routines? Has it been many years, or was it recent? And what made you change everything? Was it the book Atomic Habits?
That's a great question. Not the book. I think if we were going to say a book changed my life kind of thing, it would be the book called A Little Book of Stoicism. That was the very first book I ever read. My dad gave it to me, actually. My dad's been a huge help with self-development because he's just a very like high value person that I look up to, and very successful, spiritually, mentally, physically, all of that. But for me, I think I started this self-development in 2020 when I lost 30 pounds. So I started with the physical. I kind of ignored the mental, and then, the physical and the mental, they coincide. So when I, got the results I wanted physically, I wanted something deeper. I wanted to feel more fulfilled. So naturally, I had a desire to improve myself mentally. So I had so many morning routines, trial and error, things that weren't sustainable, things that were too challenging, things that weren't challenging enough. But I think it just takes time, practice to find a morning routine that works for you. And at the same time, just to reiterate, it needs to be challenging as well as sustainable, because if it's not pushing you out of your comfort zone, then it's not difficult enough. And if it's not sustainable, then you're not going to be consistent with it. So that's kind of how I formulated this, and it's still up for, change. We're always evolving. So
Yeah.
I'm very open-minded to adding more things to it and, educating myself further in it.
Nice. And you say that it's your father who first introduced you to personal development. It wasn't yourself, it was more your father.
Yeah. Growing up, I feel very fortunate. I come from a very loving, healthy family, and I get a lot of my morals and my work ethic from my parents, I'd say. But yeah, my parents started a coffee business from nothing, and they did a really good job doing it, and it took a lot of hard work. So it was displayed for me in my childhood. So it was something I always kind of saw. But for self-development wise, like I need tough love to grow. So that's something I got from my dad for sure. Yeah.
Nice. And what compelled you to go into the eyelash thing? Was it a personal passion of yours, or?
Yeah, good question. So I always knew I wanted to do business. It was always a passion of mine, but it happened very spontaneously. I was actually getting my eyelashes done by a lady, and she was a really big role model for me at the time, and still is. She's such a hardworking lady, and we were talking, and she was kind of saying how she could see me doing, a business of some sort, and if I wanted to take her course. And I was like, sure. And then I did it. It was very spontaneous. Initially, I wasn't too fond of it just because it's very tedious work. And I underestimated the complexity of it because I thought it would be, simple eyelashes. But from there, I just kept practicing, and now I love it. It's very therapeutic to me.
Amazing. No, nice. Do you picture yourself doing this like for even 5, 10 years, maybe opening a brand, like a global brand, or like selling eyelashes or stuff, or it's not the plan?
Yes, at the moment, the plan's always changing, but for me, it would be a very big goal to expand this as large as I can. This is what I want to pursue as a career. So I really want to focus on branding and, educating other people to do lashes and kind of maybe making an academy out of it. There's a lot of goals I want to have towards the business, but yeah, I'm excited for January when I have the time to implement.
Yeah. No, that's nice. I actually have a girl that I know, a friend of mine, and she has like a nail business, but it's not just like she used to work in a nail salon, but now she coaches other women how to open their own, their own service with that. And she has like a coaching program for that. So I guess with the eyelashes, it could be a bit of the same thing where you coach other people to do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same formula I am currently working on. So congratulations to your friend. That's really impressive.
Yeah, and she scaled it pretty far. Like she's doing like 20-30K a month, just coaching people how to do how to open their own nail business. So that's
fantastic. Wow. Very admirable.
Thanks. And so basically one thing is in the morning routine, you said, there's a spiritual component, a mental component, a physical component. But do you also, because one of the things that I recommend people too is to take a look at, their goals, their vision. I don't know if you have kind of a vision board or something you look at just to remind yourself of who you want to become and where you want to go, basically. Do you have that too, or not yet?
I have something like that. That's such a good point you made. My laptop background is a vision board. I created it with my boyfriend, and we're both very into self-development, and we kind of created them coincide. And then also during my writing piece, I kind of do a lot of affirmations and reflect back on, the vision, what I actually really want long term. But I do think I could be more exact with that. I do think there's room for improvement there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's important because what I tell my clients is we all have, what we call, I don't know if you heard about this, but we all have a reticular activating system. Have you heard about this?
No.
Basically when our brain, our brain is an information machine. Like we're taking on information all the time from our phones, from what we listen to, our environment, whatever, right? And the way our brain filters important information is it selects the most important information and puts it in the forefront of our mind, because we can't realistically absorb, all the information we have in front of us, right? So our brain is very selective about the information we take on. And one thing is, the more let's say you look at your goals every morning, you look at your goals, you look at where you want to be. Well, what's going to happen is subconsciously, your subconscious is going to try to align with that, and is going to filter the information, all the information that you get from your environment, from, I don't know, the news, from social media, is going to filter it depending on the mental image you've fed it. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
so it's like it's like, when you buy a new car, apparently, because I never bought a car, you start seeing the car everywhere, right? Apparently, that's what they say. Or apparently, when, let's say you're at a party and it's loud and there's music and someone calls your name, you instantly shift your attention to that, although it's very crowded, right?
That's so true.
Yeah. And that's because your brain filters the important information. So same thing with your goals. If you look at your goals and you put it in the forefront of your mind, your subconscious is going to start to pick up on that, and is going to start to align with that progressively. And that's why also the science behind, looking at your goals too. People call it the law of attraction, but that's just it. Yeah.
That is so fascinating to hear. Thanks for sharing that with me. That encourages me to definitely do that. And it also reminds me of kind of like the term in neuroplasticity of like those who fire together wire together. I think that's the phrase it goes, which is just like the most reoccurring thoughts you have are the thoughts that will manifest into your realities, and you will believe. So it's sounds very similar to that, and makes total sense. That's very fascinating to learn. Thank you.
Cool. I mean, welcome. We're here to share. So yeah. One thing also is, so besides your father, let's say, what are, let's say, three mentors, three people you've learned the most from so far? Like,
great questions. You're so good with these questions. You're stumping me here. I think I can't really target exactly 3 people that I would say have mentored me or, I've looked up to, but I can list out, a handful of people that have influenced me and have supported me and have, shared information with me. I really like, I'm forgetting his last name. His first name's Naval. I think Naval
Ravikant, yeah, the Indian guy who he built AngelList, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very big inspiration for me. Probably one of my favorite resources for information.
Did you read his book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant?
I did not. It's on my next book to read, actually, but I'm very
it's a great book.
Excited.
I think you'll love it. I had the audiobook, yes, but I didn't read the physical book, but the audiobook, yes.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. And then, I have a very close group of friends and family around me, not too many, but, they really fuel me. It's took an amount of time to kind of filter out a circle that, lift you up and encourage you and have the same morals and view for you. So I give a lot of credit to, everyone around me, family and friends. I think your question's more asking, resources I've looked at, or
Yeah, no, certain people, like three mentors
Okay.
or people you've had, but maybe, yeah, because people like Naval, for example, some people would say, oh, it's, I don't know if you know Tony Robbins or stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I was curious, like some of the people you'd look to, you look up to,
Yeah.
or some of the people you'd like to meet, for example. Let's say you could, besides your father, besides your family, anyone you could meet who could inspire you,
Oh,
like who
wow.
could
That's such a big question. Okay, definitely would love to meet Naval. Such an inspo. Yeah, I don't have anyone that comes to mind that's like, wow, like I really want to meet you and you've
Hmm.
completely transformed my life. I think it's just accumulation of like books, you know, I guess authors that have inspired me, stoicism as a concept, a lot of philosophy, kind of things like this has helped me acquire inspiration and, consistency in this self-development journey.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but there's no one I can really say exactly pinpoint this is the person that has directly influenced my life.
gotcha.
But there's been a bunch of people that have added so much value.
Hmm. Got it. You never took, I'm just curious, you never took, for example, like a coaching program or a mentor or like something like that in the past? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, yeah.
Okay. I mean, in fitness, did you have a coach at some point or did you learn it by yourself?
No, I also learned that by myself.
Okay,
But
nice.
I mean, my dad, I want to give him credit again, showed me, you know, how to eat in a caloric deficit. And then from there, introduced the topic, researched it myself.
Mm, okay.
Fitness,
You're
like,
very self-taught. Like learning by yourself, basically,
yeah,
usually.
I really think I strive independently. I really like to work independently, but I also love working collaboratively. But mainly for majority of my life, I focused on independent learning. Yeah, I
Got it.
don't like to take information at face value. I do like to
Do your
research
own
it my
research.
own,
Yeah.
not take what's presented in front of me, like take it and then explore it. It's kind of
Hmm.
my tactic when, yeah,
Gotcha.
presenting stuff.
Yeah. Would you like to write a book someday if you had the opportunity? Or
I don't know. There's so many great books out there. I don't know. That would be so cool. Maybe. It's definitely
Mhm.
crossed my mind. Maybe far in the future when I have lots of wisdom and I can
Yeah.
share it with others. Yeah.
Sure. So let's shift to dating. So I know you have a boyfriend, and that's amazing. I mean, I guess you guys are together for more than 1, 2, 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, about 2 years. Yeah, we've been together.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. So yeah, just for like, because I have a male audience, they're interested about
Mhm.
dating and all of that.
Yeah.
Now yourself, like for example, I mean, he might listen to this later, so that's okay. But for example, like for the guys here who are struggling, and maybe you have some guys on your TikTok. I mean, I'm sure if we search your TikTok in the comments, we can find the guy who says like, okay, you're so beautiful, how can I get a girlfriend like you, blah blah blah, something like that, right? There's definitely a guy who said that for sure. So like,
Mhm.
what's your advice to most guys to be able to date high quality women, find women who are also a bit like you, who are into personal development, maybe a bit like fitness, stuff like that? Because what most guys struggle with too is they're struggling to date like the quality woman they want. Now obviously they need to be a quality man first if they want to date high quality women as well. But like, what are some of the things you've seen, what are some of the things that initially attracted you to your boyfriend, for example, to your
Yeah.
partner right now? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very great question again. Um, like you said, I think in order to attract a high value partner, you must be a high value partner yourself. So it's plain and simple that. But you may ask, what does a high value person look like? How do they act? That's up to, I guess, you to determine. But I do have my own perspective on kind of what a high value person may look like. something I really think would help a lot of people that are single looking to attract a high value partner is to understand that in order to attract a relationship, a loving, high value one, you must act as if you are already in that relationship almost when you're single. Like you need to be like for example, say all of your friends are partying every weekend, binge drinking, feel like shit on Sunday, and then are miserable Monday to Friday through their, 9 to 5 job, that whole narrative. Say that's what you're surrounded by. And you're going along with it, even though you don't really, like that party scene. If
Mhm.
it's up to them, but say you don't really like this party scene, but you're still doing it just because you want to be with your friends and you want to, you know, put yourself out there because maybe you're going to meet your partner at the club or whatever. I don't think that should be done if you are in a state where you're looking to meet someone high value and you're practicing something that doesn't go along with your values. You need to practice things that are going along with your values, even when you're single. Like if you're taking part in hookup culture and you don't believe in it, and you want your partner to be, wholesome and they're saving themselves for you or whatever you want in your partner, you can't do that yourself. You have to do what you want. So
Mm.
I think that was a big thing, seeing my boyfriend, his name's Isaiah. So Isaiah really brought to me all these qualities, moralistically I've wanted in a man. And no matter like what the narrative is, he, stood apart from it, and he still, stood strong to his beliefs, his morals. No matter the influence around him, he was his own person, and he wasn't swayed by, you know, the common theme of, the cool kids or whatever it is. Like I really admire that he's such a strong man, and he takes a stance in his masculinity. He's very, you know, I don't know how to describe him. Your partner should give you everything you want in someone and more. They'll give you aspects that you desire in a partner and more, like things you don't even, you know you needed. And you have to believe that you deserve that, because everyone deserves that. If you're practicing these high value standards on yourself, you will just automatically attract what you present.
Mhm.
It's
Okay,
kind of my
yeah.
take on that.
So to summarize what you said, if I understood you correctly,
Yeah, yeah,
basically,
yeah. Got
you
passionate there.
started, yeah, you were, I mean, even before you met your boyfriend, you already acted like a girl who's looking kind of for a relationship. Like you didn't necessarily go out all the time,
Yeah.
engaging too many in the hookup culture necessarily or whatever. You started to attract by acting like that. You started to attract guys who also are looking for women who are more like that. That's what you mean. And then,
Yeah. That was my, I guess, personal timeline. It looks different for everyone. I'm not saying if you're participating in hookup culture that you're doomed. Like you can always stop if that's something you don't believe in.
yeah.
Like people go through challenges in order to realize that, oh, maybe this lifestyle isn't for me. It's not
Mm,
providing value, and nobody's perfect. So if you find yourself in a place where you think, oh, I'm already doomed, I already did this, you're wrong, because there's always more opportunity and room for change.
mhm.
There's another kind of quote I want to quote that I disagree with, and it goes for men as well, but it's a quote, and it says something like, I'm not going to be a wife until I have a ring, or something along those lines. It's like, it's
Okay.
stating that I'm not going to act like a wife until I have that ring, until it's secure. But I disagree, because I really think you need to act like a wife. You need to act like a husband before you get that ring in order to attract, what you want. So that's just
Mm.
my take on it. I do think that line is circulating right now, and I disagree with it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, interesting. No, definitely. I mean, you seem to be, I mean, your take on it seems to be a lot. I mean, everything you've mentioned so far, it was revolving around acting in a way that attracts, circumstances in your life. Basically, you have to be congruent with what you're looking to get, in life. You have to act congruently to the standards you're looking for, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Actions speak loud.
Mhm. And that was interesting what you said. The thing you said that attracted you to, I think Isaiah, his name,
Mhm.
is was basically the fact that he was. I mean, I mean, my take on what attracted you to him was he had a very strong frame. Like he knew who he was. He knew who he was. He knew what his values were. He wasn't, easily influenced by other people or circumstances, and therefore you felt like he was kind of a rock. Like he wasn't shifting too much, etc. And so he had a very strong frame that attracted you to him. And yeah, that's super attractive. A man who's grounded, who knows who he is, who stands, even though his opinions might be controversial or whatever, he stands by them and he's willing to protect them. And
Exactly.
yeah, okay. So that's a good trait. What are some of the things you find attractive in a man usually?
Yeah, I'm gonna just refer these traits to Isaiah because he has, all the traits that I look for. But Isaiah, he brings a sense of peace and vulnerability to our relationship. He gives this kind of, I want to say, a gentle love. Like a lot of the times I can't speak because I'm not a man myself, but I do feel like there's a lot of pressure on guys to be just like very macho and stern and grounded, which I believe is so important to have. But you know, I think your woman should also see your soft side and that side where you do have emotions. Everyone's human. We all experience emotions. And your woman, creating a safe space for you and allowing you to feel comfortable being vulnerable with her, and her opening up a space where you can feel comfortable. I think that radiates a lot of strength when a man can be vulnerable. um
Mhm.
and I think some other traits, let me think. This is very
Yeah, it's a deeper question, but yeah, in terms of vulnerability, though, I want to bounce back on that. So I do agree. I mean, obviously, you're not going to always be, the guy who's like cold or brash or a bit too masculine. Sometimes, yeah, you want to obviously show her your gentle side, etc. But then too much vulnerability can also be. I think it can be a little bit unattractive for women. If a guy is whining about his problems too much instead of solving them, if a guy is
yeah,
oversharing his foibles, or so sometimes it can be unattractive. I think it depends, but definitely it's also the woman also needs to give him a safe space to do that, and it's, yeah, it has to be like that. But that's great. Do you have
definitely.
some other things? Yeah, do you have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
other things?
That's a really great point. I also wanted to say, like, it adds to this. I think a victim mindset's very unattractive. And I think that's maybe what you're targeting. I think there should obviously be space for communication and ableness to talk about whatever you need to. It's an open playing field in relationships. But I think, yeah, it comes to a place where it's either just a trait a human has. Like they either victimize themselves or they don't, and they can stop that as well. Um, so yeah, another thing. Um, oh, I think, you know, strength to communicate about anything. That's a very attractive trait. So communicating about whatever it is, no matter whatever backlash you'll get, because again, it shows you're strong in your stance, you believe what you're speaking about. I think that's a very attractive trait. Care and respect for others. You can really kind of tell someone's values and respect by how they speak about others.
Mhm.
That was something very attracted to me. He never speaks down upon other people because he's confident in himself. Um, what else? Um, he's very strong in his morals and his values. He helps, those in need. He gives back. If he sees someone struggling to carry their groceries or something, like without a doubt, he's gonna go help them.
Mhm.
These are just examples of, things I've seen in him and that are just very attractive. And yeah, I really respect and I give those traits a lot of gratitude because, you know, they speak volumes.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. No, but it seems to revolve around, yeah, positivity, ability to solve problems, being the leader of your own life, and things like that. Having an abundance mindset, helping
Mhm.
others. So all these traits, yeah. Not being a victim. That's great. What do you think about guys who are too frugal, like who are tight-fisted in relationships or stuff like that, who don't want to, for example, pay for, the first date, the second date, don't want to pay for something. What do you think of that?
Um, my opinion might be controversial, but I mean it with all due respect to everything. But I do believe that a man should, make a lady feel like a lady, like should be a gentleman. If he can treat her on the first date, I don't think it should always be the guy paying for everything. But you're trying to win her over in the beginning. You know, if you can't afford to take her out for a dinner, take her out for a coffee or take her out for something, a surprise date.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think someone should be like it's something to be aware of. Like no one should be with someone for their money. Um,
Mhm.
I fell for Isaiah for his drive and his ambition to be successful, but I'm not, I haven't fell for him for what money he has or things like that. I think
Yeah.
I don't know, in the first date, I do think it's attractive when a guy, wants to take care of you and wants to treat you to this meal, especially if he's asked you to come on this date, you know,
Yeah.
kind of think you're being taken care of. But yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea. I think that it should kind of equal out while you're dating. Like, the man should also not feel like he's being taken advantage of
Correct.
financially. There should definitely be balance there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. Definitely. I think if the guy invites, the guy should pay, definitely.
Mhm.
And even as a rule, I mean, if you're going out with a girl, it's always good to pay the first time, etc. Invite her, be in an abundance mindset. And one example recently, for example, like I was dating this girl, an Estonian girl, because I'm in Estonia. So I was dating this Estonian girl, and for the first date, we had like two drinks in the rooftop of a cool hotel here,
Ooh,
and
cool.
it was great, really high end type of hotel, etc. I paid everything. It was, yeah, not too expensive, but like that's okay, and so it was great. And then she invited me back to like an oyster festival. I never been to an oyster festival, but she invited me to that, and she paid for the tickets, and so that was
Mhm.
pretty cool. So I think there should be sometimes some reciprocity where she's willing to
Yeah.
invest a little bit, she's willing to pay for a few things, but definitely, I mean, most of the time it should be you're the man, you provide. That's it. That's our role too, to some extent.
Yeah, that's really sweet. I'm happy to hear she did that as
Yeah.
well.
So that was
I
pretty
think
cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think like people, should just be generous with what they have too. It's it's just an attractive trait in a human in general to make people feel comfortable and to be generous and just out of goodwill to take care of, a bill here and there. Money comes and goes. It's a good thing to treat other people, make them feel special.
True. Yeah, yeah. What are so first of all, how do you, I'm curious, like how did he meet you? Like was it online? Was it did he approach you? Was it through
Yeah,
friends?
good question. Yeah, we did meet online. We met in the middle of COVID. So I wasn't really inclined to online dating or anything like that. And neither was he, but it kind of happened sporadically, kind of out of a joke almost online. It was
Yeah.
weird. We were only on the dating platform for like a week. So we think it was like a divine thing that was meant to happen because it's just the quality of our relationship is not saying that, relationships that are met online are poor quality, but it seems like we've met elsewhere. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So it was online on one of those dating apps or yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And what did I mean, what made his profile, stand out from the other profiles, for example?
Oh,
Was
good
there something?
question. Yeah. I think I really liked his bio. It said, I'm not like the rest. I just thought it was like
Yeah.
super classy, simple, not too elaborate. Really liked that. And he was like, he gave me just authentic vibes off the bat. I only like swiped on a few people because I was only on it for like a certain duration of time at that point. But he sent me like videos. He was sending me videos of himself talking off the bat, which
Nice.
I was like, wow, like I could really get a sense of your personality. I feel safe. And he's like just a total gentleman in the way he spoke. And, when we met, he was very, he'd open the door, do all these nice gestures kind of thing.
Mm,
So that I think that had me more inclined because I felt like he
yeah.
was treating me like a lady, like very special. Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. So on the dating app, you can send videos. So he sent you videos of him talking.
No, not on the dating app.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
We we diverted to another platform and then he was
Okay.
sending me videos of him speaking instead of
Gotcha.
texting.
Got it.
Yeah.
What are some of the mistakes you've seen guys make online when they approach you, or you see people usually people make, like some of the mistakes, common mistakes guys make? What are some of those you
Oh,
think?
good question. I think thinking back, I think maybe too forceful. Like I think off the bat, maybe if you're already defensive and already upset at, who you're trying to approach, like say, like I remember if maybe I took a long duration to respond to something, I would get in trouble or, a little thing like
Mhm.
that is like right off the bat kind of unattractive,
Yeah.
unappealing. Um, being too forward, with your intentions, kind of sexualizing the whole idea right off the bat,
Mm.
obviously a red flag. Um,
Yeah, I
just
see so
I
many guys trying to sexualize too soon.
Yeah,
They've
yeah, way
seen
too
some.
soon.
I'm not gonna drop names, but I've seen some videos on YouTube, or whatever, from some guys, and then they try to over sexualize the thing before meeting the girl. And sometimes it could work if the girl is super DTF, what we say DTF. I mean, down
Yeah,
to fuck. If she's down to fuck, then great.
yeah,
I mean, you could sexualize maybe, but usually, especially with high quality girls, like if they haven't met you in real life first, if you sexualize too soon, it's kind of a red flag. It's not
oh,
that cool. So it's better
definitely,
to do
yeah,
it like in real life.
yeah,
So
definitely. I think even like when you first meet someone, like personally, I want them to be invested in my personality and myself as a
yeah.
human being, not my external appearance or how I'm presenting myself. Like I would like someone to fall for my mind, not my body. So I think showing that in whichever way you can, asking questions, trying to get to know someone's personality. The questions you ask someone are like make or break. Like you can
True.
make someone interesting by whatever questions you're asking them, right?
Yeah, to be
So
interesting, be interested, you know,
exactly. Yeah. If you're
yeah,
asking me like sup or um plain questions like what's your favorite color, like things like this, like I'm not going to be very
yeah,
invested. I want to like a question like that's going to open up a window to opportunity of conversations.
true. Yeah, that's what we call charismatic questions, by the way. It's like questions that are usually, it's not close-ended, like, oh, what's your favorite color? Or like, oh, do you live here? It's more open-ended, like, oh, what made you move here? I'm just curious. Or, oh, why did you blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's open-ended, and it's going to make you invest more and talk more about your motivations or emotions or what made you do something. So those are better questions to ask usually. But definitely, I like the point that you said. I mean, if you want to be interesting, be interested, ask a lot of questions, show that you're sincerely interested in the other person. And in my opinion, the guy shouldn't talk as much as the girl. Like he should let the girl talk as much as possible. He should ask the questions. Women love to talk about themselves. I mean, people in general love to talk about
Yeah.
themselves, but you should definitely let her talk, be a good listener, stuff like that, you know. So I think definitely that's important.
Good point. I never even thought of that. Yeah. I love to talk about myself. I know a lot of people do too. So I think, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, to have her more invested.
I'm curious, what do you think about Andrew Tate? Have you seen some of his videos maybe on
Okay,
TikTok or on YouTube?
that's a good question. Okay. I had a little bit of a conversation about him with my boyfriend, actually. So, I've only seen what I've been exposed to on TikTok. I've seen a lot of edited clips of him. So, of course, a lot of the things that I saw, I didn't like because they were edited, I guess, and they were a lot of things kind of about women in not the best light. But my mind's open-minded. Like I've had conversations with my boyfriend. He showed me some, good sides of him, and I think he has a lot of knowledge to offer. But people with knowledge to offer, you're not going to agree with every single thing they talk about. You have your own moral compass, and you can determine what you like when someone presents you with information and what you don't like. So I think he has a lot of great things to offer. But there's a few things, of course, I'm not too fond about with how he's talking about women. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I didn't think he should be banned off the internet kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
I think,
And he's back actually on Twitter, but not on Instagram, etc. But I mean, Twitter, almost everybody's back because of Elon Musk, even Kanye West, Trump, everyone. But yeah, no, that's a great point. Obviously, he's a very polarizing person. I think he has very polarizing views about the world, etc. But in a way, that's what made him successful, because with his extraordinary worldviews or extraordinary behaviors, he's been able to achieve extraordinary results. Because if he was thinking like anyone else, he would have the same results as anyone else. So that's why he's so amazingly successful. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, if I was a woman, definitely if I saw a clip of him talking about how women can drive or women can do this or women whatever, I would also be a little bit pissed off. But it's part of his also persona, I think, online. I think actually in real life, he's very genuine about women, and he's very caring and protective. And he has a very traditional view about how men and women should work. He's not woke at all. Like he has a very traditional mindset about it. Men should be men, women should be women. And he doesn't he doesn't agree with like this wokeness or this new age feminism and all of that.
I see. Yeah, definitely. Like some of his points are great, and I totally like. I don't see him as a demonizing figure kind of thing. My only worry when it comes to him saying, bold statements about women is there's an audience target to view him. Like, men your age that have a good moral compass and can see right and wrong, I think watch him, like go encourage, like I encourage it. But I think about younger men that are still formulating their moral compass, and they don't really have a set in stone answer of right and wrong. I fear that kind of information will make them see women like at a low value and at like kind of objectifying them. That's what I fear. It just depends on your audience, right? You can't control who's viewing this content. I don't believe anyone should be canceled, and he should have a right to speak proudly about his opinion. But it's just a worry of mine, like younger men that don't have that full moral compass viewing this information.
Definitely, especially if it's taken out, like, because usually his clips, they're taken out of like a 2-hour interview, and they take like the 30 seconds that's the most polarizing, and they put it on TikTok. And so then if you extrapolate it and you remove all the context, it becomes like super it becomes a super how can I say, like bold or polarizing statement, but so that's one thing. That's the dangers also of those formats like shorts or TikToks or whatever, because you remove the context, you take just the snippet, and then it some people can interpret a whole new different meaning to what people say.
Totally. It's also kind of like turned me off from even wanting to view his content, right? I've never watched any of his videos, so I can't like speak on him. But from seeing that, I'm like, oh, I'm like kind of choked about that. Like, I don't know if I want to watch a full clip, but I mean, I'll push myself out of my comfort zone to watch it. But seeing it's like kind of a turn off of like seeing whatever other information he's going to present. But I'm aware of this. Yeah.
Cool. And so one other question is like, they say it's a famous thing that sometimes women like to test men to see if they're the real deal, to see if they're congruent, to see if, that's the man they're truly attracted to. You see what I mean? Like sometimes a woman wants to feel safe and wants to feel like his man is the real deal, and if he still got it. You see what I mean? So do you sometimes, have that, or have you done that in the past, or what do you think about, women testing men, or sometimes, wanting to, sometimes a woman is gonna see if you're gonna compromise yourself in a certain situation, or see if you're gonna hold your ground in a certain situation, or stay true to your morals. She's gonna test you in some way. So what do you think about that? And what do you think about all that? Maybe my question isn't clear, or do you understand?
No, I understand it completely. Maybe my answer is unpopular, but I don't believe you should ever test your man without them knowing they're being tested, or your partner in itself. Like, why should you test someone, play games and test someone when they're not aware of them being tested? To me, it kind of sounds like a game. I wouldn't want to be tested without me knowing. Like, I wouldn't be wanted to be put up to the test. I think you should, if there's an issue, or if there's something you're curious about or you're uncertain about, I think you should communicate about it and not put your partner to a test that they're not aware of.
But also sometimes, sorry to cut you out. Also sometimes it might be a little bit unconscious, like she's not doing it deliberately, but just like almost as an evolutionary imperative, she's kind of doing that. You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Like that's what they say. I don't know. An example would be, for example, that's a great question. I mean, as an example, let's say a woman, let's say you're with a girl, you've been with her for a few months, weeks, whatever, and she sees that you have your business, that you're focused on going to the gym, etc. And at some point she want to test you and see if you're gonna if she can throw you off center of that, if she can, she's gonna see basically like, okay, let's see if, let me kind of try to distract him and try to, for example, she's going to tell you, oh, you shouldn't go to the gym, like stay with me, you're already fine, I love dad bods anyway, or oh, you shouldn't do blah 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 or whatever. And she's going to kind of distract you and make you think that it's okay to spend all your time with her, to no, don't go make more money, or don't go to the gym, or don't do this, that's okay, it's fine. And she's going to try to kind of throw you off center a little bit, off the path, and to see if you're actually hold and stay in the path, or if you're going to be distracted by her. And she's going to kind of giving you a platform of like, is he going to stay true to his path, or is he going to be easily distracted by what I said? And usually that's what I've seen. And usually if you compromise yourself too much, the woman starts losing respect a little bit. And that's what we call, there's a book I wrote, I wrote some books, but there's a book I read. Yeah, I wrote two books, but it's dating books. It's mainly for men, but I can
okay.
send you that I can send you that. But basically, this is a process. That's what they call like pussification by 1,000 cuts. Like they basically, they basically make you compromise yourself with small concessions. And at first it starts small, but then it goes to bigger and bigger hoops, where at some point it's so big that they lose respect for you, and they want to replace you because they're not attracted anymore. You see what I mean? Do you see yeah?
Okay, I can see that, definitely. I can see it, but I can't relate to it. Me and my boyfriend see each other on a schedule. It's been like that for the longest time, just because of our schedules. Like, we're both very busy people. But from going off your point, I think that if a guy is so easily persuaded, to the point where they can change their whole routine for you, I think it's an unattractive trait, because they're kind of showing that, they're distracted. They can easily be taken out of their, their vision isn't clear enough for them. They're being steered away. I can't speak from like experience on this, but I think that also a lady, if she's aware, she should not encourage her guy to do that. Like, she should respect his schedule, his goals, and be that support for him, and be there to encourage him to do his tasks and follow his vision, and be that kind of support for him. And I need that support from Isaiah as well, like as a woman having big goals in business and all this stuff. Like, I need support from him too. So giving each other support for your own independent goals, because yes, you're a team together, but you also have your own visions, your own goals, your own personality. Like, you're two different people still, but you're a team. You just need to encourage one another. And you can never communicate too much. You can never talk too much about something. So over communicate. Yeah,
and setting boundaries too, because if there's no boundaries, then the woman is gonna also she's gonna test the limits. Like if you're not clear about what your values are, what you're willing to tolerate or not tolerate in a relationship, what you're looking for, what you're looking set expectations about the relationship. If you don't set the right expectations, the right boundaries, sometimes people take advantage of that, and the counterparty is going to try to keep the counterparty is going to sometimes compromise yourself in order to keep the peace in the relationship, but they're actually hurting the relationship because they're not clear enough about their boundaries. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think, both parties should have boundaries. Like, both people in the relationship should have clear boundaries that's why, I don't know, maybe it's not so romantic, but I really think a routine is crucial when you're in a relationship, especially at a young age. Like setting dates to see each other during the week, and putting it into your schedule, because like, of course, here and there, you'll mess up the routine. It's not like the end of the world, but it's good to have days intentionally dedicated to your partner, and then days intentionally dedicated to your work and yourself.
That's great. Yeah. And I'm just curious, like at your stage, like do you guys have to see yourself every week? Or do you guys sometimes don't see each other for like 2-3 weeks? Or is it like every week we need to see each other?
Right now it's every week we see each other because we look forward to it. Monday to Friday work, and then we live like maybe 45-minute drive from each other. So what we'll do is like Friday night he'll come to my house and then stay until Sunday, or I'll go to his house.
The full weekend. Okay.
Full weekend,
Wow.
but Saturdays we're working. So we just work beside each other.
You each work together. Yeah, you work beside each other.
We just work on our desks, but we're in each other's company. And then Sunday we dedicate to intentional time. So we only really have intentional time with each other one day a week. But, you know, just to be in each other's company on Saturdays, we just are working side by side on our computers. Yeah.
Got it. And from the time you first met him after the first date to the time you guys said, okay, we're going to be together exclusively, how much was that time? Like 2-3 months, 4 months?
Oh, it was a long time. It was 7 months, 6 months or 7 months. Yeah. I think slow beginnings are crucial to, you know, make a wise decision. And really get to know the person before you enter a relationship with them.
Yeah. And do you think at that stage, like before you guys get exclusive, you should date a few other people to see if you made the correct decision, or you should exclusively date that person until your mind proves you wrong, or until he proves you wrong? See what I mean?
Personally, I think exclusive. I feel disrespectful entertaining other men while being with one man. And then I also didn't have that desire to. I think you should definitely be exclusive. It takes away from, you know, the specialness that you two have. When you're single, you know, go on your dates, whatever, get to know maybe more people. But if you see a person, you're like, you want to go on a date and went really well, that's like, for me, I don't want to entertain anyone else.
Okay. Cool. Interesting. So we're probably going to finish soon, but just a few more questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. One first question, and that's an interesting question, is what's something you bought for less than $50 that truly impacted your life and made an impact? Like something that you couldn't live without, or something that you truly loved?
Good question. My mind just goes to books. Like my mind just goes to books that I've read that have, you know, completely transformed my life. A few books, I guess I can name them. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Classic. Yeah.
Atomic Habits, A Little Book of Stoicism, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I'm kind of forgetting the authors here. A New Earth, I think it's by Eckhart
Tolle. Yeah, The Power of Now too by Eckhart Tolle is great.
Power Now. I'm reading that right now. It's on my bed.
Ah, nice. I have it too. Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
It's really good so far. Yeah, those are the ones that are coming to mind at the moment. Under $50.
Yeah, no, definitely books. Maybe my fitness membership for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually an app on my phone called Carbon. It's where I track all my macros. It's similar to MyFitnessPal, but better because you get your own digital fitness coach to coincide with the app. So I think it's like $10 a month or something. And
he really coaches you, like he really like
no, it's a digital one. So like, for example, I will eat according to my macros, and then at the end of the week I'll do a weigh-in, and I can either adjust my macros, the fitness coach will adjust them to like my goals, or leave them. So it customizes your macros and everything, makes everything super easy.
Got it. So carbon. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I have
Yeah.
strong lifts. I have one called Strong
Okay.
Lifts, but yeah, I'll
Cool.
check it out. I know MyFitnessPal. It's pretty famous, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'll check it
yeah.
out.
Okay, yeah, I love it. It's a good one.
Cool. And one more thing is like, okay, what's your advice to make the world a better place? If you had one message to leave right now, if we all had to die, if we all had to die tomorrow and give an advice to next generations, like what would it be?
Good question. What comes to mind is to practice yourself on evolving yourself. And to me, that looks like practicing bringing yourself to the present moment. So stop worrying about the past and the future and just like dial into now, because now is all we have. Um, I think a big thing that coincide with that is being intentional with every conversation you have with someone. Um, you never know who you can impact through conversing with them and kind of what someone's going through. So treat people with respect and value their opinions, and give them your full intentional time when you're talking to them. Don't rush it. Just even if you're in a rush and someone wants to talk to you, like take the time to talk to them. Like give people your time of day. I don't know. That's what comes to mind.
No, that's a great advice. Awesome. So, yeah, one more question, and then we can wrap up. Sorry, like
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So, what do you hope the world would look like? What do you hope? Yeah, the world would look like in like 10, 20 years. Do you have a pessimistic or an optimistic view about the future? What do you think is going to happen?
I want to say I have an optimistic view. Um, I think my boyfriend describes the world right now as it's swinging on a pendulum. So he thinks we are so far in one direction that we're going to snap back.
Interesting.
I think that going off that, I want to say, and I'm manifesting an optimistic view of the future. I want people to stop like hating on people so much and stop being so judgmental. And I want the, men and women not to be so toxic towards each other and to just be more kind to one another, and people just in general. I hope people are kinder to one another and there's not so much persuasion, toxicity. I just really hope people work on themselves and do the deep dive work to make the world a better place. Yeah.
No, that's a really great advice. Yeah. No, amazing. So yeah, thank you so much, Rebekah. It was great. Where can people find you? So you said TikTok, it's at This Is Reb, right? And
This
then
is not Reb.
This is not Reb, sorry. Then do you have a YouTube? Do you have a Facebook? I know you have Instagram, so you can share that, or website. Let us know.
Yeah, so I have my personal Instagram. It's Rebekah, REBEKAH _ Piccolo, PICCOLO. And then my business account is Lashes by Reb _
Okay.
I also have a YouTube with my boyfriend. It's linked in my Instagram bio. It's just called Isaiah and Rebekah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Do you guys do like dating advice, or it's more in general like vlogs?
So when we first started dating, we were making just like for fun vlogs, like pranks on my mom kind of thing, like just lighthearted content. But we haven't made a video in like a year because we've just been so busy. But hopefully when we, live together in the future, we will take up that hobby again. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Cool. So, well, thank you so much, Rebekah. It was great to have you on. And yeah, I hope some people found some value out of this. Go follow Rebekah and go check out her content. I think whether you're a man or a woman, you can definitely benefit from her content. She has some nice advice. Her TikToks are great. And yeah, I mean, good luck for the eyelash business and all of that. We keep in touch anyway. I have you on Instagram. I'll follow your progress and we can keep up. And yeah, then we keep in touch.
Thanks so much, Limo.
Yep.
We've had such a great time and we had such a great conversation. I'm super appreciative.
Thanks. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. So take care, Rebecca, and see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Limo.
Bye. See you.